Tensions are rising on the Korean peninsula. Pyongyang says the situation is now a state of semi-war and the prospect of denuclearization is gone. The comments come after Pyongyang reportedly test-fired another missile off its coast at a nuclear security summit in Washington, D.C. China and the US agreed to work together to limit North Korea's nuclear ambitions. Well, for more on this, Tetiana Anderson joins us now live from Washington, D.C. Tetiana, how is Washington responding then to this latest launch?
Well, this is all against the backdrop of this nuclear security summit that's happening here in Washington, D.C. And I would say that Washington is not very pleased by what has happened recently with North Korea. I mean, President Obama put an op-ed out in the Washington Post late this week where he said the greatest threat to global security is the proliferation and potential use of nuclear weapons. That's why he said in 2009 he unveiled this idea for this nuclear summit. He said it's not something that's a new idea to him only. This is something that American presidents have talked about in the past. He actually cited Ronald Reagan, who said, quote, "We seek the total elimination one day of nuclear weapons from the face of this earth." So this meeting that's happening this week in Washington and the previous summits that have happened, the previous nuclear security summits that have happened are meant to advance that agenda that was discussed in Prague, which really centrally is to keep nuclear weapons out of the hands of terrorists. And since the meetings have begun, several important steps have been made. There have been several successes. Up to this point, more than a dozen nations have successfully gotten rid of their highly enriched uranium, have gotten rid of their highly enriched plutonium, and they're really strengthening these treaties and institutions that underpin nuclear security. But as you mentioned, this is all happening against the backdrop of North Korea, that nation continuing to conduct nuclear tests, that nation continuing to conduct missile launches. And, we heard them say on Friday that this latest missile launch has happened. This is just hours after President Obama has met with leaders of Japan, leaders of South Korea, leaders from China, where they agreed to really stick together on the North Korea issue and apply pressure to Pyongyang. But apparently, Pyongyang doesn't care. Paul?
Okay, Tetiana, thank you very much for the update.